All right, welcome everybody to the very first episode of a new subset of Forgotten videos. Now that I have Forgotten Firsts and I've Forgotten Variants, Darth Lopez gave me the idea with some offhanded comment asking about later printings. I figured, you know what? We might as well do one for Forgotten later printings too. Why not, right? So this is a little subset of that Forgotten series where I'm going to look at those, kind of ignored, overlooked, second printings, third printings, any later printing, basically. We can go all the way up to eighth printing or more, depending on the book that we dive into each week. I'm open to suggestions. If you've got some later printings that you want to see covered or looked at, feel free, mention them in the comments, throw the suggestions my way. I am adding to another list and another pile of books to talk about here with later printing specifically in this additional series in Forgotten. Again, let's talk about those books nobody else is talking about because it's just kind of fun. I love comics. Hopefully you do too, and that's why you're watching this this channel and this series, because that's what I want to do. I just want to talk about those books that just kind of interest me, and hopefully they interest you as well. Now, I hope you're enjoying the channel and the videos. If you are, please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. I still have a couple more ideas on the way as I'm working these newer shows into the old rotation and hopefully bringing some of the old shows back that have been on hiatus for a little bit. But schedule's getting kind of packed, so things are getting tough with school starting back up. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. Still having fun, so I'm going to do my best to get the content that you guys want to see out there. So it always helps when you tell me the things you like to see and the things you don't care so much about. I'd rather spend my time working on things that everybody enjoys rather than just for my own my own sake, just diving into something that nobody really cares about but me. Now, that being said, if you want to see the first selection of books that I have to cover in this Forgotten Later Printing series, just hang on for 1 second through the intro, and I will be right back with the first group of books. Now, with this Forgotten video series talking about later printings, we can look at plenty of books that a lot of people are already aware of. I mean, sure, we can start talking about the Ms. Marvel 2's, the first Kamala Khan, not Ms. Marvel 2, Ms. Marvel second print on issue Captain Marvel 17. Or we could be talking about, some of those Venom second prints and things like that. But those are books that I think a lot of people are already aware of and are already kind of chasing down to begin with. So I want to look at more of things that you just might not be aware of, that you didn't even know there were second printings or later printings for some of these books. And you may not be aware that they actually sell pretty well. Or if they don't, they still don't for one reason or another. That's not really the point. I'm not here just to tell you about expensive books, not here to tell you just about cheap books. I'm just here to tell you about books. When I tell you about prices, it's just for informational purposes only. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm not telling you not to buy it. You guys do what you want with the information. I just love sharing it and love looking into this stuff for myself and just giving the information out to you guys. So hopefully you're enjoying that. And with our first book, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to run this series going forward. I'll probably just do a hodgepodge of books like I do with the other series. We'll just grab a few characters, a few books, and just throw like 4 or 5 of them out there each week. This week's going to be a little bit different since it's the first one. I was trying things out. So I actually have 3 sets of books. So it's like small groupings of like 3 or 4 issues. And then these are the books in that run of later printings or second printings that you can find out there if you're interested. And the first one is actually a small little run of Daredevil. And we're going to start with a book that I have found in the dollar bins. And I think I covered them on dollar bin digging pickups or maybe regular dollar bin digging. I can't remember which of the videos or articles I covered it in, but I know I found this book once or twice already. And this is Daredevil 508, the Shadowland storyline. And this is the second print for issue 508, which has a fantastic Daredevil cover. I mean, him sitting there perching like a gargoyle there, Shadowland in the background. There's just something cool about that Japanese style design on top of a skyscraper that is, I kind of dig. I like Shadowland, and it looks like hopefully they're doing something similar with his upcoming Dark Reign storyline, but who knows? Who knows? But this is a pretty cool book. And again, this is a second print. I believe all the books I chose today are all second prints, but again, this could be second, third, fourth, could be any printing. It's any printing that's not first, may be fair game for this series. So keep an eye on that going forward. But We see what's available for this book. I'm not going to do print runs because it's harder to find print runs on later printings and getting solid numbers. So I'm not going to try to estimate these for you. They are what they are. If I have a sense that some are more heavily printed, I'll say it. Otherwise, we're not talking print runs here because the information just isn't that solid for a lot of these later prints. So that being said, what's available for this guy? I'm not going to give you a full run of what's out there. Just broad strokes. A couple of copies just to give you a sense. This could be anywhere from $10 to $35. So that's what we're talking about here for this particular issue, this second print, $10 to $35. There's probably a few more out there. Like I said, I'm not grabbing every copy like I try to do with Chasing Ghosts to get as many as I can. This is, just give you a range, give you an idea. Same thing with recently sold. I'm just going to tell you round about what sold recently, and this thing can sell anywhere from $5 to $43 as well, as you can see. $5 at auction. I keep telling you, auction's not a way to sell a book that's most people aren't aware of, because you can end up getting shortchanged. Well, August 31st, they only got $5 for the same book that somebody else sold a few weeks before in July for $43. Somebody got a good deal, but the seller, I'm sure, is a little disappointed. So depending on what end you find yourself, if you're in the market shopping, look for those auctions that most people aren't thinking about, those auctions that end on off schedules and weird times. And if you are a seller, just try not to auction a book that's just not well known. You'll do yourself better by just being patient. So that's issue 508. And like I said, we're going to do a little bit of a run here. So with 509, we get a cool little callback to that Daredevil, I forget which issue, but it's Matt Murdock hugging Elektra's tombstone after she was murdered by Bullseye earlier in that Frank Miller run. But this second print for number 509 is still a pretty cool cover and a pretty cool callback. Again, continuing on that Shadowland storyline. And this is also, once again, second print. And I didn't know this one existed until I started looking into these. I started researching, different books to look into, and I was looking at the rest of this Daredevil run. This one didn't look familiar to me. I haven't seen this one in the wild that I've noticed. I mean, I might have flipped past it, not knowing what I was flipping past, because I just wasn't aware. But the pink should have caught my eye, but somehow it did not. But what's available on this guy? This one, about $15, $15, $16 are the couple of copies I found out there, asking price. So not too expensive. Definitely affordable if you just want to go out there and go grab one. It's not too much out of your wallet, but if you want to know what's actually sold, just so you can do a little comparison, you can see, once again, $5 at auction and $20 buy it now. Again, that $5 at auction looks like it's the same date as that other one, so this might have been the same seller putting all these out for auction. So you got $5, whereas the buy it now on this one got 20. Just saying. Moving on in the run, next issue, 510. Also, second print. Pretty cool. We got Iron Fist, you got Luke Cage, and you got to see Elektra holding her sai there. Definitely a cool perspective. I kind of dig this cover. Again, unfamiliar one to me. I don't remember seeing this one on the shelf. I don't think I have this in a box anywhere. But if I wanted to go find one, I go look at what's available. I could expect to pay $15 to $20 thereabouts if I wanted to go buy one. I'm probably not going to, but it's good to know that's the range if I really wanted to. And if you want to know what's actually recently sold, there aren't any. None recently sold for this particular issue in the last couple of months. So definitely interesting. I'm not sure if it's a matter of like print run going down as well. I mean, I'm not clear of actually what issues might be considered key in this run, but if they're just doing second prints because they were doing second prints for the entire run, eventually those would wear down and wear thin as far as restock numbers go, because readers would kind of drop off or increase, and you don't need to get second prints, because if it is a hot storyline, as I remember Shadowland being, print orders might actually went up a little bit for stores. But that's going to end our little bit on the Daredevil run here from Shadowland. And up next, we are going to dive into the Winter Soldier. Now, this is the Brubaker run for Winter Soldier #1. And what I find interesting about these is that the second prints on these, this actually the copy that I'm showing you right here is the first print. And the reason why I'm showing you the first print is because the second print is simply The colors are different. It's some of the color is pulled from the image, so you have a partially colored cover for that second print. Not as much of a fan of that when that is the method of a later printing. I prefer it when it's new cover art, even if it's interior cover art. I just like different covers personally. Those are the ones I gravitate towards and get interested in buying. If I already have the first print, it's like I'm not buying the second print because I missed out and I'm trying to read the story. But if I just dig the cover that you're giving me, but if you're just giving me the same cover but it's just recolored, I'm not as interested and not quick to dive in. Personally, that's just a personal choice. But issue 1 for this Winter Soldier run, second print. What do we got out there for this one? $5 to $12. And you can see if you look at that third one down there, it looks like it's the second prints for issues 1, 2, and 3 together for $30. Yeah, not too bad if you're interested in that kind of thing. Because as we're about to get to, I'm going to cover the next couple of issues, and that little lot are the issues that we're going to talk about. So we're going to move on to issue number 2 after we check what's sold. Really quickly, what's sold on this? Copy sold for $10 with $30 shipping, but we're not going to worry about the shipping. Sometimes you order from overseas, UK, it can be pricey, but $10 was the price. $10. It's going to take us to issue 2. Again, there's the full color version. So what did they do for the second print? They just kind of muted it a bit, pulled some of the color out for the second printing. Kind of cool, though. I like this cover. I kind of dig this one. I think the best out of the 3, maybe? I don't know. 3's pretty good, too. But the available copies on this one, I found one, $17. Outside of that lot. Like, again, you can go back to that lot that had issues 1, 2, and 3 for $30. But if you wanted to buy this solo, $17. So, asking a little bit more, probably because it's a cooler cover. None recently sold. Also interesting. None sold. So we don't have a price reference to know what somebody else paid before. But we'll move on, like I said, to that number 3, which is another contender because it's a pretty cool Doom cover. And that's kind of how I stumbled into this one. It was Dr. Doom. And I somehow was like, oh, Dr. Doom on a Winter Soldier cover? And then it got me into looking at the other Winter Soldier books as well. So again, just researching. So this is, again, the first print for this. I just wanted to show this so you can see the difference when we make it a second print. And we just pull some of that color out and mute it just a little bit. And that's what we get. Still, pretty cool image with Dr. Doom standing over Bucky there, this second print. If you wanted to go and pick one of these up for yourself, you're going to be looking at spending $12.50 to $40. Doom commands some dollars these days. So $12.50 is not too bad. $40 is a little bit steeper, but I can tell you the reason why is probably because of that Doom cover. What's actually sold for this thing? Well, what's actually sold is somebody snuck one for $1.82. 3 bids at auction. I'm telling you, auctions can be tough when we're talking about books that a lot of people aren't aware of. And books like this, even I'm not aware of. Granted, I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm just pointing out the fact that I didn't know about these books either, so I wouldn't have even known to stumble across that auction because I wasn't looking. But I might be looking now because now I am aware, and I'm sharing it with you guys. But Doom is how I got here to Bucky, which kind of tips my hand at what we're going to look at next, which is Dr. Doom. This is going to be the final run of books that we're going to talk about for this first episode. But Dr. Doom, this is more recent. This is what I think 2018, 2019. This is a very, very recent run of Dr. Doom. I think it ran about like 10 to 12 issues. But this Dr. Doom number 1, which also had some pretty cool incentives, but also had a second print. So if you weren't aware, this is the second print cover for that Dr. Doom number 1, which I kind of like it. I don't know. It's not perfect. It's not, but there's just something about the makeup of the cover with the castle in the background that just kind of hits me in a good place. I kind of like it. And this book itself, if you want to go buy one for yourself, will run you $22 to $33. Not cheap, but a lot of people are collecting these later printings these days, which is why I thought this might be an interesting series to kind of do. Because even I myself, I'm not a huge later printing collecting guy, but when I see them, I can't help myself but just grab them because I know they can pop like this these days. And also because I do like different cover art. I just do. So they got me collecting some of these things that maybe I wouldn't have said I would before, because I still don't believe that a second printing would still be considered a first. Because it's not. I mean, it's the second printing by all intents and purposes. It's not the same as the first print. That would be the first appearance, and this would be a reprint of that first appearance. But that's getting pretty far afield. We're not here to go through the semantics there of first prints, first appearances, and all that. We're just here to look at later printings. And this second print is a book that has sold recently for as much as $20 to $50. Yep, not too bad. Not too bad. You can get $50 for the second print. Listings will always be things like very rare, and I don't know, that could be true. I don't recognize this book. I'm not sure I've seen this on the shelf, and I can't imagine there are a lot out there, but hey, who knows? Which is why I can't give you print runs, because just unreliable information. I can try, but I feel better just letting you make your own call on these things. I'm going to give you a range of some prices and just let you know about the books, and you, again, do what you want with that information. But this is still a pretty cool run of books that do have the second printings on them. Like I said, the entire run was like 10 to 12 issues, but they all didn't get later printings. But we did for the first few. So issue 2 also had a second printing. And this one actually isn't too bad when you look at what's available. This one's on the cheaper end compared to the rest. $8, and then there's one at auction starting at $4.25. Yeah, definitely not too bad. And when you see what it actually sold for, it is also a very, pretty affordable. $9, $10. Yeah, double cover. Not awful. Not awful. Well, round about double cover. It's a $3.99 cover. So even if you're buying it new off the shelf, it's not terrible. The next one, issue 3, is definitely a cool cover. I kind of dig this one. You get that whole kind of magic vibe out of it. You get more of like a mystical looking Doom. And I'm not sure which type of Doom we're going to get when we eventually do get him in the MCU. But I got to bet we're going to get some taste of some magic associated with him, because that is just a really cool aspect that that they added to the character. I mean, I don't want to say recently, but when you consider how old the character is, they kind of focused in on it more in that Mark Waid run. And I would still say it's semi-recent to me. But that being said, second print, pretty cool cover for this issue 3. You want to see what's out there if you were out there shopping? None. Couldn't find one. Couldn't find one to buy. I was looking, try to get a price. Couldn't find one for you guys. And at least at the time of me doing up my materials. Things could change by the time I drop this video. So who knows? But when you look at what actually sold, it's about 10 to 15 bucks. Not awful. And I think that's not too bad a price for this, because like I said, I kind of dig this cover, and I really, kind of want to add one. And for 10 bucks, I might be down. I might be down for 10. But again, that's my call. That's my personal preference. I'm just saying. And we're going to wrap it up with issue 4, which has a pretty cool MODOK. I mean, you don't get a lot of MODOK covers. I mean, he had his own little mini there for a couple of minis, I guess, but not a huge library of MODOK books. So getting a predominant MODOK cover like this on Doom number 4 is definitely pretty cool. Also, second print, obviously, because that's what we're talking about here. And we see what's available: $23 to $83. Yes, I know that's on the high end, but I wanted to give you the high end because that's the high end ask. There were multiple copies over that $23 mark. There's a bunch in the 30 to 40 range from what I remember scrolling past. So definitely not a cheap book that people are asking for prices on this thing. But if you want to compare it to what's actually sold, well, I got one copy sold in the last 3 months, and it was $25. So definitely not cheap. It still went for a decent amount, but people have gotten brazen with the asking prices. But if that's all that's out there, that's all that's out there. So you got to make that decision for yourself, whether you want to pay those prices or just be patient and go digging. And if you want to go digging, these are the types of things that I suggest you go digging for, which is another reason why I like doing a series like this. So this way, when you're flipping through those back issue bins and those, not always cheap boxes. I mean, sure, you might be able to find it in $1 boxes. You might be able to find it in the $2 boxes. Those recent overstock. That's where you might find some of these later printings, and this is the kind of stuff that I think is worth being aware of when you're flipping through those boxes. So this is what I'm trying to give myself more education on by looking into these books, and I'm sharing it with you guys so you can do the same when you're digging, because nothing's better than having information. Knowledge is power in our little hobby, so the more you know, the better off you are. And I'm not trying to reference G.I. Joe in any way, but I guess I kind of am, with knowing is half the battle. That being said, thank you all for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy this new little series I'm going to mix in with the Forgottens. I'm probably just going to do some sort of rotation on Thursdays. I know I got to do Forgotten first because it's been a while, as I've been trying out other shows in that Thursday slot for Forgotten first. But you guys tell me what you think, what you want to see more of. If you prefer the variants, I can do more of the variants. If you prefer the later printings because you like this new thing, I can try to do some more of those. I just kind of want to know what everybody else would like to see, and I would try to do more of it. and I'll just mix things in as I can, as the schedule allows, basically. But I'm enjoying trying out these new things. Again, as I'm researching things even for my own benefit. I'm having fun doing it. Hopefully you're having fun going through comic books with me. And if you are, please like, subscribe, hit the alert button, tell your friends. Let's get some more people to know and be aware of the channel. And I guess I will see you guys soon.